Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Warrior Way. I mentioned in a video talking about the quantum financial system, and I was listening. Videos come up about this stuff, and videos come about NESARA and JESARA. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, the different economic systems that are supposedly being developed in the spiritual world. That's how we're going to work under, and and actually, I think that a lot of that stuff is definitely relevant, definitely makes sense, definitely a path that many spiritual seekers are listening to, including myself. I see thousands of people are listening to these videos, so I know it's something that a lot of people are feeling aligned with, and that it makes sense. As I mentioned, I talked about how the system it works through, at least in my understanding, it works through an internal system, and it goes further in terms of when we're going into ourselves. The way that the universe works is completely different than the way it worked when we were looking externally. So when we were looking externally, the reason why it's different is because external viewpoints of the world, that means we view people as transactions. I I go to a lot of places, but I do laundry at a laundromat, and the owner at the laundromat was talking to me and another person, and he was talking about the different financial stuff he was doing with the machines, and he made a comment. He's like, "I just don't want to look at you guys like transactions," and it was so on point, and I was so grateful he said that. I didn't say it to him afterwards because he kept on going on and on, but that's kind of the idea of the way that people view people, is that you're a certain amount of money, and when you go into a place, it's like, well, how much are you going to spend at the restaurant? How much are you going to spend at the movie theater? How much are you going to spend at the ball game? And they view you as dollar bills, as view as transactional way of looking at you. And when you start to go inside yourself, you start to view nobody as transactions. That you view it as, oh, the God inside me wants me to be love and kindness and serving people, because we're here to be, in a sense, God. And when we forget that we're God, we serve God, right? So either way, you're serving in a sense. You're either acting in a godly way or you're serving God in a godly way. And through the service, you start to realize, through that becoming light and love, through working through the shadow aspects of yourself and becoming the truest sense of yourself, you start to realize that God is providing all the abundance for you. You're going to get it however you're going to get it. And if the QFS or this Nasara Jasara way of looking at it helps people understand it, that the economic system is working in a quantum way, that is a helpful way of understanding that it doesn't work through the other means. And in other words, it doesn't work through transactional, like I charge you $1 and then I get $1. It just works that based on your actions, your internal way of living, your internal clock, based on what you're doing in your life, based on your creations that you're creating to bring light and love of God into this world. You are going to be given a certain amount from God, from the universe, because that's how the universe works. Now, in some cultures, by the way, they don't believe in what's called God. The word God is a funny thing. It's called universe, it's called nature, it's called the way the karmic reality that it works out. That God or nature or universe, or however this karmic law indicates, is that the world was created. We created ourselves. We created this world, in a sense. We create our own world. And ultimately, when you go inside, you start to realize, oh, I don't want to treat people uh, poorly. I want to treat people as if they are myself, because that other person, everything is really myself. It's projections of the mind. Everything is really one. And therefore, if everything is really one, everything is really there for us to, in a sense, to do as we please with. But it's, in a sense, it's us. So if it's truly us on the other side, whether it's a bug, whether it's a human, whether it's whatever, we would treat it as if it was ourselves, and we would treat it with the utmost kindness and love. And instead of being transactional, we would give the shirt off our back to somebody. We would give the last dollar bill. Ram Dass was asked, like, by somebody, I think I heard one time, he was asked, like, if you had only, you're wearing a pair of pants and someone didn't have a pair of pants, and they asked for your pair of pants, would you give them your pair of pants? It's a great, I don't remember what he answered. It's a great predicament to be in, right? Like, you have the last, it's only one pair, and he's in the middle of the desert and he has no pair. Would you give him the pair? Well, I guess the predicament didn't happen, but if it were to happen, I mean, I guess I'd give up the pants, like, right? Like, why do I need the pants? I mean, if I don't need the pants, then he needs the pants, and he's feeling. I guess it depends if I'm feeling like I need it because I'm cold, or he's cold, or whatever the case may be. But the point is that that's how you have to view it. Like, that person is you, and how would you want to be treated? And that's how the system works. Now, People ask the question that if everyone were to understand that God takes care of you and that true abundance just comes to you because it's going to come to you, then how would we have anything? How would we have food? How would we have buildings? How would we have infrastructure? How would we have all this system being in place? Because if we don't have people working, then ultimately all things are going to crumble, right? So the way I see it, and I think the way it's understood, is that, well, your reality starts in this moment. It's not like you can create a reality that doesn't exist. The infrastructure is already here. All the stuff that you're happening, if you're listening to this video, so everything in your reality, in my reality, are right now aligning in a certain way. But we have houses, we have infrastructure, we have roads, we have food, we have stores, we have all these things. So we're not starting at zero. We're starting right now in this point in time. When you're learning about this, whether you learned about it a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, the point is we're learning about it at a time where these things are already existing. Now, we could go backwards in time, but we're here in this moment. The point is to be here now. So, okay, so now you're going to say, but what if everyone gives it up at the same time? That's not how it works. So to me, it's simple. Souls, a certain amount of souls are awakening at the same time. There's a number that's out there of 144,000 souls. I don't know where that number comes from. I asked somebody once about it. I don't know. People don't have answers for me. Where does that come from? But 144,000 souls are apparently awakening at the same time. Again, whether that's true or not, I don't know. And if you're listening to this, you're most likely probably one of these 144,000 souls. So we're all awakening here at the same time. And if we're awakening at the same time, that means for us, the system is changing for us at this particular time, but all the other souls are still remaining in the other reality, what we call a 3D reality. And therefore, they're staying in that reality. So that reality continues to exist in a certain way. Now, the 5D people, all these souls that were ascending, are moving into another reality, but this reality was already created in a sense. So we're staying with what we know as to be our truth in this particular moment, that's already there. And how it's going to work, I don't know. That's the mystery. The mystery of unfolding is you don't know. You can't predict exactly what's going to be, but you can tell how it works in a sense that I think, to me, it makes sense that your actual reality changes in the sense that the people that come into your reality are actually in your reality for the period they're around you. Anything that's around your reality, it morphs into, in a sense, into your reality. So if you're in a 3D reality, you're going to see me as being like, oh, I'm a crazy person. I'm talking about crazy things. This guy's out of his mind. And you might shut up the video and you might talk garbage about me or whatever the case may be. And that's okay because you're in a certain place where you're seeing things as you're angry about your life. Like it's like the guy who walks by you in the street and you're looking at him straight in the eyes, you're about to say hello, and even you might say hello, and he just completely, he might look at you, he looks down to the ground, or he doesn't even look at you, he doesn't say hello at all. Completely angry, and looks at you like, strange, strange man, right? Or you're a person who's ascending, or you're a person who's a little bit, and you can, and you're, if you're willing to be like fully, if you're fully happy with yourself, if you're really not hiding anything of yourself anymore, and you understand that God is taking care of you, and you have it all, when you fully know you have it all, you're non-reactive, you're calm, you breathe, and you're thankful for every single moment that you could come back to the present moment. When you start to know you're there, you start to you start to care about everybody in a certain way, but you start to not care in a sense. You don't care about the silliness that the other people are doing, that they're staying in that world. That's their choice, and your job isn't to force them out of that world. Their job is to work their own way out. But again, your reality can shift, but someone else's reality stays the same. So if they're staying in that 3D reality, they're going to continue to do the work they're going to do. And in a sense, what starts to happen, it's like looking at like someone like Jesus or Maharaji or any guru in the world or any high being, that they're not really doing much, right? You would say they're not really doing much, but they are. They're giving over God's light and love into the world, but practically they're not building the actual building. So like they don't, but they know they don't have to. They are building it in a sense. They're building it by being. The way they're being is they're building the world through their beingness. And our job is to just be. Our job is to be, and then you'll see the mystery, how it all unfolds. But we're too busy looking at the history of like, well, how would this happen? How would that? Doesn't matter. The point is you're here now. And the system could only change if you're here now. If you constantly go further into yourself and understand that, oh my God, everything is already taken care of for me. Everything's already there. Now, all that other stuff, all those other beings are just, in a sense, you in different versions, in different realities, and you're in your own reality. So your reality starts to shift. When your internal world shifts, your entire external world changes. And when you understand and when you really feel that God has you, you're not going to be as reactive. You're still going to have your moments. Even if you shift into another reality, you're still going to have your moments. You're still going to have those moments of like, and those tests that come up but they become less and less intense and they don't last as long. I would share with you guys that this morning I had a moment with one of my children, my son. I was, there was a ladybug that was on kind of like the ceiling, and I was saying, oh, I was reading that the ladybug is very spiritual meanings to a lot of ladybugs, transformation and prosperity and a lot of beautiful things. And I was sharing with him, and he's like, "You're talking too much. It's too early in the morning. You're talking too much." And I felt a little bit. I felt a little bit like, oh man, like. But I said, okay, I hear you. Like I wasn't, and then he repeated it again. He's like, "You just want me to be honest. Don't you always say to be truthful?" And he's right. I do say to be truthful. But I understood that, like, he just woke up, and his feeling when he woke up is he just woke up. In the meantime, like I wake up and I'm excited for the next day. I'm excited to see my children, and but not everyone, even your own children, even your partner, even your best friend, they're not necessarily in the same place with you, and you have to respect what they say. And if they need you to back off, then as it's 11:11 on the timer, if they need you to back off, then you back off and you allow it to be. And the people that are stuck in this old way of thinking, or again, even moving into this new reality, people are quick to like, I have to learn about quantum physics, or I have to learn about cryptocurrencies, and I have to learn about Bitcoin and Ethereum and exchanges and all this stuff. And if you enjoy that stuff, go ahead and learn it. If it feels appeals to you, that you want to understand it and whatever, and it appeals to you, but you don't have to do any of that. None of that matters. What matters is the internal stuff. Any video that tells you to go do external things, even if the external things are spiritual, you don't have to do it. Ram Dass would say that he used to say that even meditation, you have to let it go. You have to let it go. The guru, you have to let it go. Everything is inside of you. The guru is inside of you. The meditation is inside of you. You don't do meditation because you have to do meditation. You do meditation to let go, to let go of everything, in a sense. Because what else are we gonna do? It's like I exercise sometimes. I do a 5 minute exercise pretty much every day, and if people would say, well, if there's no cause and effect, if God's making you who you are, so why would you do it at all? What else are you going to do? You have to do certain things. I mean, I enjoy the 5 minute workout. I enjoy having my routines. I read, I write, I do these things. I'm on here. Like, there are things we have to do that, like, I think we enjoy doing. And also, we're serving God in a sense. Our bodies are also God, that we take care of our bodies for that reason. And we want to give over stuff to the world because we want to shine God's light into this world. And we want to shine His love and His light into a world of a lot of darkness that becomes lighter and lighter the more in you go. So just keep going in. The outside stuff is a lot of noise, but it's okay. They're all. Sometimes it's beautiful noise. Even the spiritual noise, it's beautiful. And take the good, leave the rest. Take what you feel like is for you. Even from my own video, not everything's gonna be exactly for you, but for the most part, I think that we just know what's good for us, and we know what we feel, and when it aligns with us, we take it in, and we know it's for us. So thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.